Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 182. I'm your host, Justin Bruni, but I've got Emran Khan with me. Happy Sunday, sir. Welcome to week 5. How we doing?
Happy Sunday, man. Doing good. Another Sunday, another lovely day of fall, and it's London Day, so the game starts in, about 25 minutes?
Yep. We're going to be kicking off our little preview here of that game here shortly. Very excited. We get some early morning football. Definitely going to fill in the void, of our nice little hour and a half, 2 hour wait, after our show, completes, and then we got to wait till kickoff. So going to fill the void a little bit there. I mean, it's not the most exciting matchup, at least from what we've seen so far out of the Falcons and Jets, but maybe we'll get some fireworks in London. I'm not sure. What are your best bets looking like for today? I know we both have a couple of props in this game here. This first one up.
Yeah, we do actually. So I'm still on my same game parlay kick. So this week, I like you mentioned, I got a same game parlay cooking for plus 21.54. So about 21.5 to 1 odds. I got Zeke, Lamar, and Michael Carter, who's playing in this game, for an anytime touchdown. Devin Singletary over 27.5 rushing, and Josh Jacobs over 11.5 receiving, and that would pay out what is that?
21.54.
Yeah, 21.54 on a $100 bet, or $200 on a $10 bet.
Dang, that's a lot. I like it. I think the only thing I'm concerned about is the Michael Carter touchdown.
Last week. He's getting more touches. I think he had 15 total touches last week compared to, I think, 8 or 7 combined for Coleman and Ty Johnson. And it's anytime. So receiving or rushing, I'll take it.
All right. I don't like that part. Maybe the receiving. I don't know if he gets it done on the ground. I got Jamison Crowder over 4.5 catches in this first game, and then Jamar Chase getting the same number, 4.5 catches, in what I hope to be a high scoring matchup up against the Packers, who are missing a lot of playmakers today. So we'll see what we get out of those. I got the over 4.5 for Crowder and 4.5 for Jamar Chase. Let's go into this preview a little bit here. We got kind of two funky teams to kick it off here in London. New York Jets coming in as road dogs. Atlanta also dogs, or not dogs, but on the road. But favorites, minus 2.5, 2.5 in favor of the Falcons. Jets at plus 125 on the money line. Falcons minus 145. Totals at 45 points. I kind of like the under here. Anything that you see here that you like?
I agree with you on the under. Usually when it's these teams going to London, it's in most cases an under. There's the jet lag. No matter when they get, it's just weird, right? You're just really off. It's a road game for both teams. So I like the under here. I'm actually going to go with the Jets. I think the Jets are going to win this game outright. Falcons are really banged up. I think if they had Calvin Ridley, and I can't remember, is Russell Gage out too?
Yeah, Russell Gage and Calvin Ridley both out of this game.
So Olamide Zaccheaus is the wide receiver number 1, and it's
apparently
fair to say it's a little bit of a downgrade from Calvin Ridley, just a little bit. So I think the Jets, they look good last week against the Titans. Zach Wilson looks to be settling in. Defense isn't that good for the Falcons, so give me the Jets.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. The Jets actually sneaky defense, top 10, top 11 for yards allowed. I think it's 20. They rank 21 for most yards against, so whatever, about 11. Yeah, it's 32 minus 21. So they're actually getting it done, at least in the air. They've only allowed 2 passing touchdowns through the first 4 weeks. So I like the upside there. The Falcons are hobbled, injuries all over the place on offense. No Calvin Ridley to move the chains on third down. Maybe Matt Ryan has a decent day. Maybe he could throw for a couple of touchdowns, but I don't love him. I'd be trying to stay away from pieces in this game. I picked up Olamide Zaccheaus, for fantasy, but I'm leaving him on the bench. I'm actually starting Khalif Raymond over him. I think he might get a little bit more volume and a more positive matchup. Like I said, the Jets have only allowed 2 passing touchdowns the entire season. So any other fantasy options in this game that you might be trying to plug in or potentially fade?
I do like Michael Carter. I think his role is starting to expand. We were just talking about this, right? About his roles expanding the offense. And they drafted him, he was one of their first few picks. So I think he's going to continue to grow on this offense. And Corey Davis, I see Nick Cipolla with a good question here on Corey Davis versus Hunter Renfrow. Corey Davis, I like this matchup as well, too, because I don't think, that Falcons secondary honestly is any good. So I think he'll have some opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into our flex questions. Before we get into our morning flex, we got Nick in the chat asking about Corey Davis versus Hunter Renfrow. I like the upside for Corey Davis today. There's a little bit more opportunity up against the Falcons passing defense that ranks 10th in the league for passing yards against. We got Sabovich88 in the chat saying, I'm not knowing my numbers, top 10 or 11, I think. It's 11. Sorry for the mispronunciation there, Sabovich. It's 11. They rank 21 in the league for passing yards against the Jets. The Falcons are 10th. So sorry to misspeak for you. And I'll try to yell, I think, all day. What do you think about the option there, Corey Davis versus Hunter Renfrow?
It's tricky because I think it's pretty close. Renfrow, he's probably maybe tied for third receiving option in Vegas. Bears have struggled against the slot all year long, though. Like Cooper got him week 1, and it's been a nightmare all year. So, I think I'm going to go with Corey Davis because I definitely think he's the number one target in that offense. I think that offense goes through him, so I think the volume is going to be there. Yeah. Hunter does worry me, though, as a Bears fan for this game today. I think their nickel situation has been suspect all year, and I think he's been really solid for the Raiders. So I go Corey Davis because of the volume, but it's a close one for me. It's really close.
Yeah, I'm going with Corey Davis just on the volume, and I think the matchup is a lot better. There could be some really short drives for the Raiders today going up against the Bears, even at home.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into our morning flex, but before we do, let's cover the players that are going to be ruled out for Week 5. You can do game time decisions. I'll go through ruled out. So out today, we got George Kittle, David Montgomery, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Rob Gronkowski, Dimey Brown, Julio Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton. Make sure they are out of your lineups. Plug those or get them plugged out.
Those some big names, man. A lot of big names there. So we'll go with the folks that may be out. They may not be. You got to stay right up to game time and keep an eye on them. Joe Mixon could play against the Packers. If he does, that could be an interesting matchup. Packers defense is banged up. TJ Hawkinson, which is pretty big, right? That's the biggest weapon in the offense. And another weapon in that offense, DeAndre Swift. Antonio Gibson and Dalvin Cook, also game-time decisions. Chase Edmonds, Amari Cooper, Devontae Parker, Giovanni Bernard, Curtis Samuel, Nick Westbrook-Klein is filling in for Julio, who's out again today, like you mentioned. And then Max Williams is also a game-time decision. And it looks like for Zeke, I'll just do the last one as well, if you don't mind. Zeke's expected to play against the Giants, which is a very tasty matchup.
Yep, absolutely. And, of course, CMC not on that list, but not expected to play either.
For a couple more weeks, yeah.
All right, first up on the morning flex, we've got Jameis Winston versus Carson Wentz. Winston going up against the football team on the road. Wentz going up against the Ravens on the road, but on Monday night. Leaning either way, more heavily over the other?
I'd rather not pick, but if I have to, I'll go with Winston because I think for all the hype that we give the football team secondary, in the preseason with that defensive line and all those draft picks, they've really disappointed. They're really vulnerable. And we all know that Winston's going to throw it all over the place. He is going to throw multiple interceptions today. I know that. But he's probably going to get, multiple touchdowns too. And Carson Wentz against the Ravens, it looks like it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, I'm going with Winston as well. The football team rank 30th in the league for points against. I think there's going to be a lot more upside for Winston and the New Orleans offense this week. You still have to look out for Taysom Hill coming in and maybe stealing some touches in the red zone. He had a couple of touchdowns last week. I don't think he's going to repeat that type of production. I think it's more of a Jameis Winston week up against a football team that's been allowing, bleeding yards in the air. So should be a lot more opportunity for him today. Next up, we've got Jared Goff versus Baker Mayfield. I'm going with Goff here. Minnesota defense hasn't been great on the ground or in the air. Baker's got a good matchup, but I think the passing offense for the Lions should be more out front today with potential injuries or game time decisions from Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. I'm going with Baker too.
No, I'm going Goff. No Baker.
You're not going Baker. Oh, I'm going Baker.
No Baker.
I just think that offense in the Lions is bad as it is, and you're losing your two horses. I know they're going to be chasing, but you still got to throw to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I just think there's going to be a lot of passing opportunities. I think they're going to have to only work through the passing offense. Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, they're a little bit beat up. I think they may both play, but they may just give them a few less carries. I don't think you trust Jamar Jefferson to get it done.
Nope.
All right, next up here, we got three players, pick one. We got Dalvin Cook coming in questionable. Looks like he should play. Antonio Gibson also coming in questionable. Looks like he should play. Or Jamar Chase versus the Green Bay Packers.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. I love Jamar Chase today. I
He's
think he's
fully
going to have a big game.
healthy. No Jair Alexander, who, as much as I hate the Packers, arguably top 5 corner in the league, shutdown corner. He's not there. Their secondary is very weak without him. I really don't like. I love that matchup for the Bengals.
I like the matchup for the Bengals as well. No Jair Alexander there. The Smith brothers both out. Antonio Gibson, Dalvin Cook, they could just be on some snap counts. They may be limited in their workload for today. So I'll go with the higher upside for Jamar Chase. And realistically, if you're looking at these options, you have a really deep roster to begin with. It's probably a short league, maybe 10 teams. So you can probably even make leap forward with Jamar Chase with a lot of confidence. I don't think Dalvin Cook or Gibson are going to have world-beating days today. The white-ass Cowboys still making them down. Yeah, they've been bad. Their defense hasn't been great. Like to see them better, but hopefully you don't own them in team defense leagues. Eckler, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Scary Terry. Anybody sit for Patterson? No, I love all of those options over Cordell Patterson, not Corey Patterson. What do you think, Emron?
I agree, Cordell Patterson. I think that train's ending. He might get a touchdown or two today, but it's really up to you on if you want to risk it. So I would go with all the others above him. Easily.
Next up, we got Gesicki versus Noah Fant. Nick says sorry for the poor spelling.
All good. So Gesicki's against the Bucs and Fant's against the Steelers. I'm going to go with Gesicki.
I'm going Fant.
I'm going to go with Gesicki.
I like Gesicki's matchup just because the secondary for Tampa is so bad, but I think Fant's going to be a lot better with potentially – they have Locke in the game, don't they?
Yeah, they have Locke because Teddy's got that concussion.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a little bit better production for Fant with Locke in the lineup. So he's got Nick watching on Facebook on his phone.
Appreciate that, Nick. Thank you very much, sir.
Boosting the views. We always love that. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
All right, next up we got Tony Pollard versus Trey Sermon versus Tim Patrick. I'm going Tim Patrick in that one. Everybody's hurt. Cortland Sutton's coming in questionable. Hamler's already out. Jerry's out. Patrick's been great.
Same. I just don't know the workload, what it's going to look like for Sermon or for Pollard. And Tim Patrick, I feel bad for the guy. He's like always the forgotten receiver in that Broncos offense. He's so talented, but people always forget about him because they drafted Hamler, Sutton, Judy, right, and Fant, obviously. So, Patrick.
He's got size, he's got speed, he's got hands. I mean, I know he had a couple of drops last week, but prior to last week, he was looking really good. Going into week 4, he had more touchdowns than drops. So obviously, you have to hit the average every now and again. But I feel like he's in line for a big week up against the Steelers. It's kind of a low scoring game. I think the total's at like 39. I think
it's very low
over there. I think we still go to the over there, but we'll get to that here soon. Next up, we've got Emmanuel Sanders versus Tyler Boyd versus Jamal Williams. This one's a bit tighter, but I think I still roll out Tyler Boyd. I love all those Bengal receivers this week.
I do too. I do. I could be wrong here, but I think Joe Burrow is about to light up the Packers. No pass rush, weak secondary. I think, and there's just too many weapons, especially with T. Higgins coming back too. Like, that's hard. You lose your shutdown corner. I don't know who you're going to roll out against those 3 guys.
What do you think about Manny Sanders in that primetime matchup up against KC?
I like that a lot. I do expect that game to be a shootout. I have him in a couple of leagues. I'm firing him up. He's also been picking up a lot of steam the last few weeks. He's really found his way into that offense. He was quiet the first couple of weeks, been solid the last 2. So I like him, but as a close set, he'd probably be my 1A. I had Boyd as my 1, Sanders my 1A. I love his matchup as well.
That's exactly what I was about to say was I'd have Tyler Boyd 1, Sanders 2, and Jamal Williams at 3.
Yep.
See what we got in the chat here. Orlo saying, good morning. How do we feel about Dalvin Cook? Starting him, solid playing time. Might be on a snap count, but if you don't have better options, then obviously throw him into your lineup. We just did one with Jamar Chase, Dalvin Cook, or Antonio Gibson, and Emron and I both went with Jamar Chase over both of those running backs who, if they're in and they're healthy, they've got booming production, but you're just not sure what type of workload you're going to get. So if you don't have a really productive option behind him, I'd say to leave him on the bench. You agree?
I'm with you, and it's probably hard. Even if you have Madison as the cuff, do you feel good about starting him? No.
Absolutely not. Next one up, we got Adam Thielen versus Detroit, Mike Williams versus Cleveland, or Kareem Hunt at the Chargers. Williams and Kareem Hunt, same matchup here. I like Adam Thielen here.
I got a feeling for Thielen too. Bad secondary, and Cousins been doing what Cousins does, right? This is where Cousins eats. bad defense. He's going to drop 4 or 5 touchdowns. This is where he puts his highlight tape together.
I feel you. Agree with all that. CJ Uzomah versus Dallas Goedert, another Bengals player today. With T. Higgins back, does that draw back a little bit more upside from Uzomah?
I think it does. I think it does. I think the wide receivers are going to eat. I think he'll be involved. I don't expect another 100-yard, 2-touchdown game from him, though. He may sneak 1 touchdown, but Goddard against the Panthers. Yeah, I'll go with Goddard.
It's a really tough one for me. I think Uzomah actually is going to find pay dirt again. I'm gonna go Uzomah. I think he's going to have another productive week. Really came up clutch for them last week. I just don't see them just avoiding him. You know, he made some really big plays for him. Made the game-winning play that got him within field goal distance. I think they give him some more love this week. We got another Mike Gesicki pick here. We got Mike Gesicki or Noah Fant. Didn't someone just ask that?
Yeah, we just did that question.
Yeah, someone in the chat asked it. So yeah, there we go. We skipped through it.
Yeah.
We'll jump into our week 5 previews here. First, we got another Nick in the chat saying play Michael Carter this morning or see if Joe Mixon plays. Probably go Michael Carter.
I don't feel good about it, but I agree because Mixon, you just don't know what you're going to get. And I think they're going to just start airing it out on Green Bay.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I do not feel good about it, but I would still start Michael Carter. He's going to have more opportunity. All right, first game up. We've got the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. We've obviously already gone through the Jets and the Falcons. So Dolphins come in, road dogs into Tampa, plus 10 on the spread, plus 387 on the money line. Over-under is at 48 points. My best pick here is the under, but I still love the Buccaneers to cover. What do you think?
I agree. I think the Buccaneers cover any under. I think the Bucs will drop over 30, but I don't see the Dolphins getting much going. I know the Bucs secondary is bad, but I don't really think Jacoby Brissett has enough horses to take advantage of that. So give me the Bucs to cover and take the under.
Well, the secondary for the Buccaneers is really beat up right now. I would feel there's a little bit more upside. I mean, do you like Brissett and these other options? You know, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker. We've already mentioned Mike Gesicki a few times. I feel like I'm going to have Myles Gaskin on my bench and he's going to rip off like a 60-yard touchdown or something like that. I feel like that's the way things go in fantasy. But, I mean, are you comfortable starting those receivers with the secondary being beat up for the Buccaneers?
Depends on the options. Like I like Waddle because of his speed. I think he could get behind them and get some chunk plays and maybe a big touchdown. Parker, that's not really his game. For him to be successful, right, he's going to need to get probably 47 catches, right? For him to be successful, he's going to have to get those chunk plays. So Waddle, I feel okay about starting Waddle. I think there's enough upside there. Parker, only if you're like me and in our dynasty league, I don't have a better option with Calvin Ridley out, so I have to start him and just hope for the best.
I would start Waddle, but I don't feel good starting Devontae Parker. I have to start Devontae Parker because of injuries. I just don't have anybody. It's a really deep league. My option other than him would be like N'Keal Harry because everyone else is hurt. So I don't love it, but I have to do it. Starting Mike Gesicki in that league too because my other tight ends are hurt. It's just the situation where it's at. But I don't feel good about it. Jacoby Brissett, he has not been targeting his receivers downfield. So despite the secondary being beat up and out, I still don't think it gives Brissett a ton of upside. So I'll be fading my options there. And you're good with the Buccaneers to cover the 10?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, I feel really good about it as well. Orlos in the chat asking, start 1, Melvin Gordon, questionable. Chuba Hubbard, Kenny Gainwell, Cortland Sutton, questionable. Odell Beckham. That's a really deep set, but I got to go with my guy. I got to stay on brand. My love player of the week is Chuba Hubbard. So I got to stay on brand with that.
I agree. It's a really good matchup. That offense is going to go through.
But I also will say that I am trying to buy Kenny Gainwell everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I own him in a lot of spots, but I'm trying to grab him everywhere else. So I offered Nyheim Hines for Kenny Gainwell.
You mentioned
that got turned down. I'm thinking that Myles Jack is going to have a good enough game today with going up against Derrick Henry that I can probably plug him into that and not feel so bad about it because he hasn't been really amazing in IDP. So would you take that, Nyheim Hines and Myles Jack for Kenny Gainwell?
Yeah, I would have honestly probably considered the Nyheim Hines for Gainwell. I think that's a pretty fair trade. That's in that Colts offense, especially with their banged up receivers, he catches a lot of passes, and so he's got a role.
The guy said as much. He's like, I think he responded to me after he declined it. He said, I think it's a good trade, but I think Gainwell is going to turn up for the second half. And my only response was, Singletary? Question mark. You want Devin? Like,
Yeah.
like next guy. Like, let's go. He didn't respond yet. We'll see what happens, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm all in on him. I think he's going to carve out a role there. I think he's better, not better than Miles Sanders. I mean, he might be, but Nick Sirianni thinks he is, so he's going to use him a ton. He's been using him in the red zone. Miles Sanders hasn't looked like Miles Sanders of yesterday, so give me Kenny Gainwell everywhere right now. Trying to buy him as much as I can, hopefully before he goes off for another big week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Our next game up, we have New Orleans and the football team. Oh, not quite. Sorry. That's what it is on the board. We'll go with the Eagles and the Panthers. So Eagles and the Panthers, you got the Eagles +3, the Panthers -3 at home. Eagles +135 on the money line, Panthers -155. Game total is at 46 points. I like the over here. Both teams are averaging over this, I believe.
They are, and I like the over as well, and I like the Eagles to cover. I still have the jury out a little bit on that Panthers defense. You know, I understand you can only play who the schedule gives you, right? We started at 3-0, which was great. Had some really weak teams they started against. They played the Cowboys last week, which is a big boy offense, and they struggled quite a bit. It's kind of like what we were talking about the Raiders and Chargers earlier. So I think the Eagles are just that pesky pain in the ass team. Like, they're not going to go away. So give me the Eagles to cover. I do think the Panthers will win outright late, but I do like the over as well. So Eagles to cover and the over.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Eagles can cover as well. I like a 27-24 type of game, but give me the Panthers on the money line. I still think that they're the better team, offense and defense. They're going to be missing CMC, but Chuba Hubbard looks like he's been, a viable, replacement for the short while here. And DJ Moore and Sam Darnold, they are just on the same page, making DJ Moore look like a wide receiver one. And I hate to say this, I don't even know how I am, but Sam Darnold looks like a QB1 right now, at least the way how it's unfolded so far. So, yep, like the Panthers there, Eagles to cover, and I like the over. Jump back to the chat here. We got brother Cameron in the chat asking, can Derrick Henry get 2 or more touchdowns up against the Jags? Absolutely love it, Cam. I think Emron's going to agree.
Yep, I have him in one of my leagues. I think that's going to happen, especially with no Julio.
Mm-hmm. Cam also likes the over for the Panthers and the Eagles. The Panthers have only allowed the 7th fewest points against, but I think that that schedule does come into play, right? Like the schedule was pretty easy through the first couple of weeks. So Eagles, they did actually pretty well on the road up against Kansas City. I know it was some garbage time points, but I think they got enough offense to hit over 46. I like a 51 to 54 point total out of this one. All right, see, next up we've got the Saints and the football team. Saints coming in, road favorites, -2.5 on the spread, -144 on the money line. Over under is at 43.5 points here. This is another one with a kind of a sneaky number. I think we can hit the over here. The football team, they actually rank 11th in the league for points scored, but 30th for points against. Yep. So I think there should be a plenty of opportunity in this one. What do you think?
I think so, but with the weather the way it is today in the DC area, it's probably going to be a little bit of a rainy game. So I'm going to go with the under, but I think the football team wins at home. I think they cover because they're coming in as the underdogs, right? They're 2.5.
They are
right?
Home dogs +2.5 spread +125 on the money line.
Yeah, so 2.5. I think they're going to win outright. I just think that the Saints. I think personally, I'm having this problem every week when I'm picking our games for the articles. As I have to keep remembering the Saints don't have Drew Brees anymore. So they're not that elite contending team every year that they've been for the last 15 years, right? They're an average team. They're not bad. They're average. And this is a game I don't think they're going to win. I think the football team forces some of these Jameis touchdowns. So I'll say football team 21-17.
I'm going to go with a 1-point game either way. So I'm going to say that the football team covers. I think it's going to be close. Their offense has actually looked really good. Like I said, 11th most points scored. You got a guy like Heineke that can extend plays with his legs. I still like what they have in the backfield with Gibson, even if he's not 100%. McKissick's looked very good. You got Curtis Samuel that's coming in questionable, but he actually looked a lot better than I was expecting for his first game back. I know they lost Logan Thomas to the IR. That's not great. I don't love that. He was a guy that I was high on in fantasy, kind of dealing with that with some injuries this week. I had to start Tyler Higbee over him, and Tyler Higbee looked like he was about to RIP out of that last game, and he got a random touchdown. So thank goodness that saved my week because I don't know how I'm going to handle it next week if he's coming in hobbled again.
Yeah, when you don't have a tight end, man, it's rough. And when you don't have a tight end, it's rough. And I know you always give me shit for drafting like 7 of them, but hey, this is why I take Travis Kelce so early when it's possible. I hate having this dilemma every week. It sucks.
But to be fair, last year you had like Evan Ingram, Kelce, and who was the other
Gronk.
one? Noah Fant. Or Gronk. Sorry, I had Noah Fant in that one. Yeah,
that
was a lot. It worked out.
Hey, it worked for the Ravens. Why can't I have 3 tight ends starting?
That's true. Well, the Ravens needed it more than you did. That's for sure. That's for certain. All right, next up here, we've got the Titans and the Jaguars. Titans come in road favorites, -4.5 on the spread, -210 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 48.5 points. I like the under here, and I like the Titans to win. I don't know if I want to mess with the cover. I don't know.
I don't either. I'm still kind of shook from last week. Those bastards killed a couple of my parlays. They were the one game. The Jags, the way they played against the Bengals, they're playing better. I don't think they're going to win, but and the game, I'm sorry, is in Jacksonville or Tennessee?
It's in Jacksonville. That's why I don't want to mess with the spread. For some reason, there's a Bermuda Triangle in Jacksonville for these games played there this year. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, give me Jags +4. The Titans are going to win. I think they're going to do a lot more Derrick Henry this week. I think they're going to win. I don't trust them to cover anything, though.
I think the Jaguars also try to hang on to the ball a little bit as well to keep it away from Derrick Henry. So I'm taking the under. That's my favorite pick in this game is the under 48.5 points. I am seeing a lot of James Robinson and Derrick Henry in this game. So, yeah, I don't even love taking the Titans money line because they just scared the hell out of me last week losing to the Jets. So, under 48.5 is my best pick in this matchup. That's where I'm going to stick to. Titans defense is just so bad right now. It's really hard to trust. You know, we could see Lawrence come out and throw a lot. I like Shenault this week. I like Marvin Jones with DJ Shark headed to the IR. So, I like all those pieces for the Jags. Also fire up James Robinson. The Titans, are you starting A.J. Brown his first week back?
Unless you have a better option. I am in one of the leagues I own him. I don't have a better option on the bench. Jags, it's a good matchup as well.
It's a good matchup, but I just don't know what we're going to get out of him with him coming back from injury, how serious it is. He's coming in questionable. Obviously, we still have Julio out, so we're not going to know who's going to be that next guy. Is it going to be like Anthony Ferkser with a couple of catches and a touchdown, Josh Reynolds mixing in? Not really sure what I'm going to get out of them this week, so I don't trust the spread. I do not trust the money line. Give me the under 48.5.
Yep.
Next up, we've got the Broncos and the Steelers. Broncos -1 on the spread coming in. Road favorites, -119 on the money line. Over-under is at 39.5 points. With Drew Lock on the road, I mean, they are really discrediting Big Ben Roethlisberger and these Steelers right now. Are you buying into that narrative?
I am, because I think, last week Drew Lock was inserted in the middle of the game, so they didn't really game plan for him. I think this week we're going to rely a lot more on, the running game and trying to keep it to Noah Fant and not, give him opportunities to mess up. I think the Broncos are going to win. Their defense is also really good. I think they're going to take advantage of Ben. And I wish it was Teddy instead of Drew Lock, to be honest with you. I trust Teddy a lot more in the situation, but yeah, the Steelers, man, it's rough there right now. So give me the Broncos, and actually I do like the under. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I don't think either team gets to 20.
I don't know, man. Drew Lock likes to throw the ball around. He loves to target his receivers downfield. I'm going to go with the over here. I think we get a couple of random big plays from both of these teams. Maybe the Steelers get a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown. I'm going to go with the over. I feel like 39.5 points is too low, and it's an overreaction to the Ben Roethlisberger narrative that, they're just done. He's still, making completions to Deontay Johnson, a lot of easy routes for Najee Harris for some easy catches out of the backfield. I mean, they're still moving the chains. This is a team that beat the Bills week 1. I just don't want to overreact to some of these narratives and some of the numbers from recent weeks. So I'm going to go with the over 39.5. It just seems a little bit too low for a couple of teams that still have a lot of offense, a lot of weapons here. And a Steelers defense that could take one to the house. They could make a house call and put up 6.
Hopefully the refs let it count this week, though.
Oh, yeah, that was garbage. Hot garbage.
Absolutely.
That was terrible. That was terrible. We're talking about the field goal block?
Yep. Refs got to bail out Green Bay as always.
Yep, that was absolute garbage. That was a perfect timing right off the corner.
Beautiful
off the edge.
Play.
Let's see. We got Nick in the chat asking Sam Darnold or Trey Lance. I'm going Sam Darnold. He has been looking very, very good. Scoring with his legs. Big arm to DJ Moore. I think there's a lot to like.
Yeah, I'm going Darnold too, just because I think he still leads the league in rushing touchdowns. The dude has been a touchdown machine. Lance, I did like what I saw last week from him, though, getting inserted in. He looked really good. I want to give him a week. It's a tough matchup against Arizona, and he doesn't have Kittle. So I give him a week to see how that game plan looks. I think going forward, though, if you have a 2 QB league or if you want like a wild card a quarterback, I think he could be very interesting. He's got a big arm. He can run, and so far so good. I think every game he's played and he scored a touchdown.
That's true. I mean, he may have scored a touchdown just in every game, period.
Well, there was one game, I think week 2, he didn't get any snaps. I was looking at that earlier
Okay,
today.
gotcha.
The week 1, he threw one against the Packers. He ran one in. And then last week, I think, threw 2.
He threw their first touchdown of the season.
Yep. It's the Lions.
Literally, as this game starts, it just kicks it out of my Apple TV. So that's not cool. Or I don't know, maybe the show's about to crash. Maybe my internet's about to burn down. We'll see. If you're left alone on the screen, I'm sorry. Next up, we've got the Patriots and the Houston Texans. Patriots come in as road favorites, -8 on the spread, -400 on the money line. Texans, big home dogs, +320 on the money line. Over-under is at 39 points. Slamming the under the 39 for certain, but call me crazy. I'm taking the Houston Texans to cover 8 points.
Yeah, and the reason I said ooh was because that when I made my bets article, and I look at the line usually, guys, around Tuesday, Wednesday when I'm writing our stuff for the site. And this line, I think, was opened up at 9.5. So 10. This was 10. Wow. So I saw it at 9.5, but if it opened up at double digits and it's come down nearly 2 points in less than a week, that tells you people are slamming the Texans. So even at 8, I still feel comfortable taking the Texans to cover. They just don't really go away. You know, they're not that type of a bad football team where they're going to throw like 8 interceptions and be down and get blown out. They kind of stick around, and David Culley's doing a pretty decent job with that situation. So give me them to cover. Ugly game again here. The Patriots will win, but they're not going to win by 8.
I hear you. Did you see that the Patriots have 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen out of this game?
I did not, but that, again, leads me to believe that I would like to take that +8.
Yeah, I'm taking the +8 on that alone. I know that they're missing Isaiah Onwenu, and I don't know who the other guy was. The other guy doesn't have COVID. He's just out with an injury. I don't remember who it was, but 3 out of their starting 5, that's not great. I think the Texans at home can do a little bit of damage. I see a 17-10 game, something like that, 17, maybe even 14. I don't think Davis Mills is going to do anything up against the Patriots. Maybe they get a random defensive touchdown. Maybe Mac makes a mistake. So easiest pick in this one is the under 39 points. That should be a home run. Honestly, I'd take under 35. I have no problem with 35.
It's going to be an ugly game.
17-10, 17-6. I don't trust the Texans here, but I do think that there's enough upside for them to cover the 8 points.
Absolutely.
We got Sawyer in the chat asking Lance or Burrow. Trey Lance, a popular starter sit for today. Going Joey B, though. That's a home run. That's
Joey
easy,
touchdowns.
baby.
Joey touchdowns, man. You guys just watch.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to light up the Packers today. I like the Bengals to actually win and cover today. We're going to be getting to them here soon. Yep. We got Javonte Williams or Dame Harris. Dame Harris was my number 2 on my love list this week, so absolutely going Dame.
Agreed.
Matchup is way too juicy up against that Texans defense. Shout out Lovie Smith, though. Every now and again, you see some really bright flashes out of that defense. It hasn't been sustainable across a whole game yet, but, man, every now and again, you see some good stuff out of that defense.
Yep, and he's doing what he can with it's pretty limited tool set he's working with. It's not like 04, 05, but he's got 3 or 4 potential Hall of Famers on his defense. A little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit. It's also not the University of Illinois. So next game up we got here, the Bears coming in, road dogs, +5.5 on the spread, +203 on the money line. Over/under is at 45.5 points. Love the under, and I love the Bears cover. I think this game should be a 3-point cover, 3-point spread. So give me the Bears to cover. Maybe the Raiders pull something out at the end, but I'm just staying away from the money line in this one. But slam dunk on the under for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think personally, this may be my bias showing, but this was one of my bets this week in the 5.5. I just think that's too much. If you look at every game the Bears have played this year, even the 2 games they were blown out, they were all 1-possession games going into the fourth quarter. The Rams, the Browns, they fell apart in the fourth because their offense, couldn't get it together. What they did last week, I think, is what you're going to see more of going forward now that Justin Fields is the unquestioned starter. The Raiders, I don't think they're that good. I think they're getting way too much respect. That number, I think people are looking too much into that 3-1 start. That line is really weak. I think the Bears are going to win outright. Yes, I'm probably coming off as a homer, but I think that 5.5 is solid, and I like the under here as well.
Yeah, I think the under is a home run. I don't want to mess with the Bears on the road because we still got a rookie quarterback out there. We're missing David Montgomery. Obviously, that's going to hurt us at some point in the game. Like Damian Williams it looks good. He scored a touchdown last week. Obviously, that was a little bit of a better matchup, and we were at home. But I still believe that they can move the chains. But I don't know. I don't want to risk it with any late game heroics from the Raiders at home. Yeah, I just don't want to mess with the money line. So give me the Bears to cover in the under 45.5 points. Next up, we've got the Browns and the Chargers. This one I feel like has a pretty low total here at 46 points. I love the over there. We got the Browns coming in, road dogs going across country to Los Angeles, +2 on the spread, +115 on the money line. Who do you like here?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Who do you like here, Chargers or Browns?
I'm going to go with the Chargers at home. Browns are solid. This is going to be actually a really good matchup. I think good matchup all around. It's going to be a playoff matchup we're going to see. The Chargers, though, they look really, really good. Herbert is not seeing any sophomore slump. I love that offense. It's going to be a close game here, but give me the Chargers to win at home. And you said 2.5 is the line still?
Two even.
Yeah, they'll cover 2. I think this will be a field goal game.
Yeah, I think the Chargers can cover 2. I think they can win by 3-7. Both teams have been scoring quite a bit. I believe they rank 4th and 7th in the league in points scored. Defenses have been good for both teams as well, and they both average over the 46 points. So I think that there's a lot of upside for the total today. You think the Browns can make it close at the end of the game? You think they have a chance to win this one outright?
A chance, yes. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the number's solid. So I think they'll have a chance. Mm-hmm. But I just like Justin Herbert at home. I think we really have to take him considering him as like one of the best young quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Chargers offense just does a lot more for me than the Browns defense still. Yeah. All right, next up we've got the New York Giants coming in as road dogs into Dallas. Had a nice performance last week up against New Orleans, but I think this one's going to be a little bit different. +7 on the spread, +265 on the money line. Over under is at 53 points. Are we getting more fireworks this week from the Giants with Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton out of this lineup?
We're not. This is going to be. I think there's going to be points scored, but I think 53 is just too much for this game. I don't think the Giants. That would require the Giants to get somewhere in the mid-20s, and I don't think they're going to get that. Give me the Cowboys to discover the touchdown. And this is another team when we talk about the offenses. Their offenses, we see what Dak means to that offense, right? This is a legitimately a top 3 offense, top 5 offense in the NFL. So give me the Cowboys to cover the 7. They'll do their part in the score, and the Giants, I think, are going to struggle. I expect a surprising game from Kadarius Toney today. I think he's going to make some plays, but it's not enough to get to 54 points to cash this over.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see like a, 24-14, 27-14 game. I'm going to take the under. I don't think the Giants show up on offense again this week. Like the under 53. The 7, I feel pretty comfortable with Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to parlay those two, the 7 and the under, but I recommend just taking your stab at whichever you prefer more. I think I feel a little bit more comfortable with the under still. I don't like the Giants this week. I agree with you starting Kadarius Toney, but I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys are still the Cowboys at the end of the day. They could make a mistake that winds up letting the Giants cover something crazy late, some random score, garbage time, whatever it is. All right, next up we've got the 49ers and the Cardinals. 49ers come in as road dogs, +5 on the spread, +200 on the money line. Over under is at 48 points. I think I got this total at 47 when I bet it earlier. So I love the over here. Both teams are averaging over that total. The Cardinals themselves, they average as a team a 56-point game total. 35 for, 21 against. So I think this should be an easy total here. What do you think?
I agree. And I think with Trey Lance getting full-time duty this week, I think he's a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes. I think Kyler Murray is going to get some short fields today. So I like the over here. I think the Niners are going to stick around, though. They're not going to get blown out. So I think they'll stick around enough. Maybe might be a backdoor cover, but I think they'll be able to cover that number. It's 5, right?
5 even, yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to mess with that 5. I'm going to take the Cardinals and the over. I just keeping it simple, the Cardinals have been one of the best teams in football so far. 49ers, I don't know what I'm getting out of them without George Kittle, without Jimmy Garoppolo in the lineup. We've seen stretches where Lance has, not been able to make a completion. Like that big play to Deebo Samuel, I think that was his 1 out of 5 for 80-yard burning touchdown. That's awesome and everything, but there's still those rookie mistakes, those young quarterback mistakes in play there. So I'm going to stay away from the spread. Give me the Cardinals on the money line and the over 48.5 points. All right, a couple games left here. We got this game kicking off. I saw the first play go for negative yardage, so that wasn't appetizing, but I think Mike Davis just took a nice little gainer up the middle.
Yeah, so far it's what you expect when you got Tajay Sharp and Olamide Zaccheaus as your starting receivers in a game.
Yeah. I hope to see some backwards on the first.
Yeah, he got one catch. I'm hoping this is a breakout game for him. I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Watch this play here really quick.
Mhm.
Zacchaeus in motion. Just a handoff up the middle, nothing crazy, a couple of yards. All right, we got the Bills coming in, road dogs into Kansas City, +3 on the spread, +128 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 56.5 points. Oh my God, that's a lot of points. I'm taking the Bills to cover and to win. I don't want to touch the total
Give
points.
me the Bills on the over. I have the Bills winning outright as well. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Bills, after that, I think they, you never want to see a team needs a loss, but I think, holy
Right.
shit, Cordero Patterson. But ever since week 1, right, they've been on a tear, right? 2 shutouts, which is insane. 2 shutouts in a season is great. 2 shutouts in your first 4 games? Are you kidding me? Like, they're not going to shut out the Chiefs today, but I think that offense is humming along. We talked about Emmanuel Sanders stepping in, so I'm with you. And the Chiefs aren't the same Chiefs that only lose 1 or 2 games a year, right? They're pretty mortal. So give me the Bills to win, and I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Bills and the win, the outright win. I'm just going to take them on the money line because I'm getting Josh Allen with all the juice at +128. I think that's the easiest pick right here. I do not think that the total is an easy pick. The Bills have hit this total once out of 4 games. The Chiefs have hit it 3 out of 4. The Bills are averaging, 11 points against per game. Obviously, the opponents are a little bit different than the Kansas City Chiefs. Dolphins football team. The Steelers. But man, I'm not going to mess with the total. Maybe I'll bet it live and try to have some fun with it on Sunday night. But I'm just going to take the Buffalo Bills to cover and take the spread. I think those are some easy picks there. Kansas City's been good, but their defense has just been atrocious. That's literally the only reason they're going to the total. They just can't play defense.
Yep, I'm with you.
Last one up here, the Colts +7 and the Ravens -7. Colts road dogs +270 on the money line. Total is at 46.5 points. Are we going to get enough offense out of a Carson Wentz Colts team on the road on Monday night in Showtime?
No, sir. This is going to be a lot of Ravens in this game. The Ravens are going to cover the +7 pretty easily. I'm also going to go with the under here. I just don't trust the offense from the Colts to do much. I don't think they're going to crack 17. That might be their ceiling. Ravens, I think, are going to win comfortably here. So give me the Ravens to cover and under.
Okay. I'm going to go with the total. I think the Colts have been able to get down to the red zone. It's just when they get down to the red zone, you don't know who they are. You know what I mean? And I'm surprised by it. Like when I see Carson Wentz make plays like, at midfield or just, even in his own territory, I'm like, man, imagine if this offense played as good at the other end of the field like this. Like, I don't understand. They play great in their own territory and at midfield, but once they get into the red zone, that's when all of the mistakes start happening. That's when we start fumbling the ball. That's when we're taking just bad sacks, like just balls that you can throw away, and we're taking 18-yard losses out of the red zone. So I don't trust the Colts there to win, but I think there might be some movement on that number. I think they might actually move up to like 5.5, even 6 points by tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. I think there's going to be some money coming in on the Colts here. The Ravens, their defense has been kind of beat up too. They've had a lot of injuries, so I think there might be a little bit more upside for the Colts. I don't know, maybe get a little extra rest, with the Monday night game, and maybe they can cover. I don't know. I want to stay away from the spread, but I like the Ravens to win, and I like the over 46 points. We got Big VA in the chat asking about the Panthers. We love the Panthers today, but we are taking the Eagles to cover. Are we still on that at the +3? Oh, we lost you. You're muted.
Yep. We'll take I think the Panthers are going to win outright, but I think the Eagles are going to stick around and cover that 3.
Is that Caden Smith that just caught a ball? Who the hell is that?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was Hunter Hurst or Hayden Hurst at first, but then I saw Smith.
They're pulling out everybody with all these injuries. Oh, going for it on 4th and 1. Okay. What is going on? My TV keeps stopping at all the important moments.
I think you're like 2 or 3 minutes behind.
I don't know what's going on here. It keeps cutting out. It's driving me nuts. All right. Well, that's all of our picks for today. We're going to head out and start enjoying some football here. Hopefully I can if my TV doesn't want to.
So you mind, Justin, real quick, if I run through my best bets before we wrap up the show, just to kind of summarize them for the folks. So if you're still with us, some plays that we love today, Bengals +3, and I think we're both on this one. I think the Bengals might win outright at home, but the +3 is awesome. Against that weak Packers secondary. Texans and Patriots. Originally, I got the line at +9. I think it's down to +8 yet now. I still like the Texans to cover that number at home. I think the Patriots will win. It's going to be an ugly game. I don't think they're going to be enough points scored for them to cover. Of course, love the Bears +5.5. I think they're going to win outright, but I think the Raiders are getting too much respect for 5.5. I think this line, like Justin mentioned, should be closer to 3. Just went over this next two games. Love the Bills to win outright.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, I do like the over. I know you're kind of iffy on the over because it is a substantial number, but I think we got a big game coming. Got to go with my gut. Yeah, and last but not least, I love the Ravens -7 at home against the Colts.
I think for that number for tonight, just wait. It's going to come down a little bit. Like if you love the over, wait for the public to buy it down to like 54 or even 53, and then slam the over.
Yep.
There's going to be movement on it. I can almost guarantee that number is at 54 points by 7 o'clock tonight.
Absolutely, because it's the highest number total of the weekend. This happens every week. Whatever that biggest number is, there's a ton of movement on it.
Yeah, so it's going to come down. If you're on the over, okay, great, go to the over. But there's no way it's going to continue to climb. It's not going to 58.
No.
It's not going to 57. Wait for it to come down to 54, 53, crank it. Then I'm all in. At least if that's your play. Personally, I feel like we're going to go to the under, but we'll see what happens. I think that Bills defense is legit. All right, I got to get out of here. My TV's frozen. I need to watch football. It's Sunday. Let's get to it.
All right, bud.
All right, take care, everybody. Be well. Be good. If you can't be good at it. We'll see you later.